So, here's our question and answer period. We've gotten the question, do we smoke pot? Yes, we do. We are proof that pot doesn't make you stupid. It doesn't make you smarter either.
Also, there's Carl Sagan. I mean, I know for a fact, from firsthand people that he was not an occasional pot smoker.
No, he was a daily pot
Yeah,
smoker, and his house is actually 200 yards from here, where
yeah.
we're
It's a
sitting right
tough
now.
climb though.
It would be a tough climb, but it is only just 200 yards up on the side of the
Yeah, his
cliff.
his house is in a pretty crazy location. It's
And I think they are going to legalize
yeah.
soon. I think Obama is dragging his heels on it because he doesn't want to take flack from the right, but I think there's no way around it. I just want the marijuana culture that I know and love to not be destroyed by the capitalists. That's my only fear.
Yeah, if you've been to the Netherlands, there's that even commercialization on that level, is has its downside.
And
And
to answer Electrotoad, yeah, the campaign against pot is all a fraud. They don't even know what the toxicity of marijuana is because the way toxicity is figured out is in relation to how much it takes to kill a person. The toxicity rate of cannabis is unknown because it doesn't kill people. It
well,
kills
no,
fewer
I'm
people
I'm
than
sure that I'm
aspirin.
sure that if you buried someone under a truckload of it,
Well, that would be
um,
suffocation. That would not be the
hmm,
chemical itself.
oh,
Aspirin kills people. Too much water kills people. Pot never killed anybody. It
it's believed that it's not possible, at least, to smoke that much of it. Although,
You fall asleep, and also in terms of psychedelics, I think it's probably pretty hard to overdo it on psychedelics, at least in terms of mushrooms, because you throw up long before you consume enough to really break your brain. Wouldn't you say?
yeah, I mean, you could overdo like acid or MDMA or something like that, but.
What do you mean for cigarettes being cigarettes are not equal to marijuana in any way, shape, or form.
And tobacco, by the way, is very easy to grow, even in northern climates. So I've encountered some homegrown tobacco at a party here, and
Yeah, it's a totally different can
yeah,
of
and
worms.
where we live, the last frost is in May. We don't have a long growing season, and you can grow tobacco here.
Yeah, but for plants with a longer growing season, such as marijuana, people usually start their or tomatoes. They
Yeah.
start their plants inside. Um, so yeah, we're big drug anti-drug warriors. I used to be a part of an organization called Students for Sensible Drug Policy and write for a newspaper that Harry wrote for, which is actually our first contact. We both wrote for this newspaper called the Cornell Progressive, and I wrote some stuff for them. So, um, hemp is the same as cannabis. Cannabis is marijuana. What's smoked is the flowering tops of the hemp plant, but the hemp plant itself is very fibrous, so that's how
Yeah.
they can turn it
And,
into
and, it,
rope and
and
stuff
in
like
fact,
that.
the breeds that are used for fiber are virtually useless for smoking. That I've actually heard of people in Eastern Europe, attempting to process huge quantities of industrial hemp into hash oil, and that's pretty difficult to do.
Yeah, I mean it is the same kind of plant, but it's just different varieties. It's one of the most genetically altered plants around in terms of crossbreeding and selective breeding and and that sort of thing. There's a major it's very easy to grow, as in it's a camp follower. One of my
Oh,
favorite
I'm gonna
authors
let the
referred
cat
to
in.
it. Okay, my it's a camp follower. As it says in one of my favorite books, and it says that it's so easy to grow that just the turning of your foot on the soil in your heel is enough cultivation that if a seed drops behind you on that spot, it'll grow. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but if there's ever like a little back patio or something where a bunch of people always smoke and they throw their seeds down, just they'll come up through the cracks. I mean, they aren't going to be the prettiest plants in the world, but it will grow.
Oh, someone mentioned hops. Yes, hops are in the same family as cannabis sativa, and that's why they have a similar taste.
And I used to have hops on my wall actually in college, and people used to say, "Is that weed?" And I'd be like, would it have dust on it if it was weed? Come on, I'm not just gonna hang weed on my wall like mistletoe. But I've done salvia, although only once, and I wouldn't consider it. No, not only once. I've done it twice. Neither of them I would consider to be super significant experiences. One of them was definitely altering. The other was a very low level experience, but I still didn't have that sort of like level 4 hallucination where I was totally dissociated. I've never had that, but I've known people who claim to have had that. I don't know if you ever had salvia.
Yeah, and it's interesting, but yeah, nothing really really high end like that.
Yeah, we could go on forever about drugs.
Of course, like the most screwy, hallucinatory experiences I've had have been with DXM, but
Harry's the DXM
which is legal,
motherfucking
so
master. If anybody's interested in DXM, we should actually not go too far into DXM because, we've got lots to say about it. So we should say, we could, if people want to know about DXM, dextromethorphan, which is the psychedelic ingredient in cough syrup. Harry is the author of an extraction procedure that is actually extremely well known.
Yeah, the statute of limitations is run out, so
So we can talk about it.
I could be subpoenaed by Congress or something, but
I've actually run into people who have done it, and he ran into somebody at the family gathering, the Rainbow Family Gathering, who had done it. But again, see, we're running out of time, so maybe we can save it for next time. But yeah, we should. If anybody's interested in dextromethorphan, you're looking at the man right there. But yeah, anybody have any political questions? Yeah, it's in cough syrup. But you know how like when kids robo-trip, that's what they're tripping on. But if you extract it, the dextromethorphan from the cough syrup, then you don't get like nauseous and all the other stuff they put in it.
You do get nauseous, but it's not as bad.
Well, it's not like there's lots of stuff they put in cough syrup, so you won't take too much of it, so you trip. And Christopher Scott wants to know how. Well, why don't we use that as a teaser and we can do it next time? Because maybe we could even like show people how to do it or something. We'll do a special on Agent Lemon. That's the procedure.
Yeah, I can look up that Russian guy doing it on camera, but the video is in Russian. So
you guys can Google Agent Lemon. That's the name of the procedure. But maybe I'll figure out when we're gonna do it. Maybe even next time. But we'll do the procedure on camera. We're almost out of time. We can take more questions. We can even do another section if people want. If people have more questions, we could talk about drugs forever. But we also know about politics and stuff. So thanks to everybody for coming. This is a pretty good crowd. We're welcome to stick around. You're all welcome to stick around as long as there are questions. But I just don't want to go too far into Agent Lemon because that deserves its own. You heard that Obama created the deficit solo?
Well, the deficit was about, what, $350 billion in, no, it was, I think it was more like $400 billion in Bush's last budget, so,
Yeah, no, he did not create the deficit.
Yeah, Bush was not a fiscal conservative in any way,
No.
It was, and that's typical. Everyone that's into war is into deficits.
There's no other way to do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's like socializing the entire economy and having total wars, but like if you do that for bullshit reasons, they'll just kill you.
Right. So, and Christopher Scott asks if we think Obama is staying true to his word. You might be a newish viewer because I don't remember you from before, but neither of us voted for Obama. I mean, we're both happy that it's Obama and not Hillary Clinton, and we're happy it's Obama and not McCain, but neither of us had a lot of faith in Obama, so I think he's doing okay. I'm pleasantly surprised, but there are ways in which I'm not satisfied with him, And yeah, his word was kind of vague, So anyway, we're over 9 minutes. Do you guys want us to stick around? I'm just going to end this section, and if you guys do more questions, we'll stick around. So if this is it, thank you all for coming. If it's not it, then we'll do another section.